Good morning, Michael.
Or good afternoon.
That is true. It is the afternoon. I haven't had an afternoon coffee in a long time.
Yeah. I need one today.
I forgot to drink my Glow. So this is it. This is what's pushing me through.
Well, we'll take some Armor. No wrong with that. Armor coffee.
Shout out. Armor coffee.
I needed it. It was one of those days. I was tired this morning.
Yeah, Mike came out to me right before we got here and he was like, slap me. And I was like, I feel like this is a trick. But I reared back. No,
but you close-fisted. It was hard.
And I punched him in the face.
And it woke me right up.
I was like, what's going on? But anyway, I'm glad you're a little... I do see the life.
I didn't sleep great last night. Yeah.
I see the life brought back
Thanks.
to you guys.
Yeah, it's good. But, here we are. I got it. And look, actually, I do feel better. Part of it was you wake up. We've all had those days where you wake up, got the kids to school. I was feeling just blah, so I didn't even get my workout in this morning, which is also part of the problem.
Yeah.
And then right to it, and then I was in front of the computer the whole morning, and it just puts you in this like blah. I hate those days, but sometimes you got to do it. So I'd rather be here anyways. This is awesome.
Yes.
Thanks for doing this.
It's a good. So the conspiracy theories, you had a ton. So we're gonna do part 2. I'm actually kind of excited about this because I don't know. I felt like I was on my period when we first talked about it, and I feel like I was bleeding out some brain cells. I felt dumb. So I'm not anymore, guys. I'm good. So I feel like, okay, wait. So let's talk about periods for a second.
Wow.
Because why not? This could be a whole episode, but let's just dive into this.
This is honestly what's on my to talk about today.
Yes. So Mike and I actually shared this with him like pretty not long ago, pretty recent, where I said, okay, here's the deal. I'm not bitchy on my period. It's my
What'd you say?
Bitchy.
Mitchy. It's with an M.
Mitchy. I'm not mitchy on my period.
That's the word.
My patience level for you to act like you are not able to do something like find ketchup is non-existent. And so where in normal life, I'm like, oh, my sweet little man. Like I'm now like, find the ketchup. And Mike goes, I remember telling you that recently. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I finally, after like 14 years of marriage, I now put that into why I get irritated in certain things. And so I've said to Mike, look with your lady eyes if you can't find it. And God bless him, a couple months back, he had the refrigerator open. He goes, okay, I'm sure you're going to come over here and find it, but I've looked with my lady eyes and I still can't find whatever it was. And I came over and it made me like super nice about it. I don't know why, but the communication of you being like desperate and saying you looked with your lady eyes like softened me.
Part of the problem is
so that was a good play.
Things get moved all the time, and they're
still in what 2 feet?
They're supposed to be in a certain spot, and when it gets moved into something, and like,
since when?
Why would it get tucked into the back of the fridge, under the corner, behind the eggs, underneath? It doesn't make any sense, right? The
thing is what's wild. This happened like 2 days ago. It's that one shelf that's eye level. It's like a black hole. I kind of want to crawl into your brain and see what you see, because you'll find things that are higher or lower, but if it's dead smack on that eye level shelf, you can't see it.
Maybe this is a whole conspiracy in itself that you guys want to talk about. Maybe we do it on purpose.
Do you remember? Okay,
Maybe we don't find things on purpose.
Okay, I'm totally...
So you can stop asking us how to find things.
Well, it doesn't end well for you. It's not like we just never let it go. Okay, I'm outing myself because this was one where I was like, it was borderline a little aggressive. Do you remember the day, I'm sure I was on my period, you couldn't find, I'm serious, it's always something in the fridge, and you were saying it's not here, and I went over and I grabbed, say it's the mustard, and I slammed it on the countertop and I said, West Point! You went to West Point! And I turned around and walked off. Do you remember that day?
I actually don't. I don't.
Oh,
it didn't have any impact. Because it happens all the time.
Can you see Mike? He's like, it's the mustard.
Couldn't find it.
Like,
thank you for finding it.
That was probably a time I was on my period. So
that's not common though. You're not.
But the patience is
irritable like that all the time.
Maybe I'm just starting to identify it because it's just how I started feeling. But I feel like the patience for that kind of stuff is like when I'm on my period, it's non-existent. Like I'm just like, find it. Like I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I think.
Well, what are you going to do to work on that then?
I think I'm going to train you better on how to find crap. And then that crap, and then that way you can.
What'd you point to Haley for?
She's nodding. She's nodding her head back there.
Okay, so this is a universal thing you're saying.
100%. It makes it's like y'all are okay, like looking unintelligent to find the cat. It's like
not
you're okay
unintelligent.
with it.
Has nothing to do with intelligence. Do you want to talk about intelligence? You didn't know what phi meant last week on sci-fi, so we can go there.
Touche.
All right, so we can talk about intelligence in a whole
And the
other
words
way.
of my friend Alicia, I don't know anything about that dork crap. That's what she goes, that's what I would have said.
Well, you didn't say it.
I didn't think about
there
that.
you are. But you know, like, there's plenty of things.
It was hilarious, but
Small technical school in upstate New York.
okay, I asked for that. I signed
You did.
myself up to get called out for that.
A fun fact, may have said it before. Jen thought
we did. We already said that in season 1.
College I graduated from was a small technical school, community college. In fact, is what she told her parents in New York.
No, I said I think. I couldn't remember the name, and I go, I don't know. I think it was.
I'm not saying again. This isn't like I went to West Point. I went to the university. I went to West Point, United States Military Academy.
Super proud of.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm saying this from a standpoint. Sure, thank you for saying that. But there's
you should say that with your chest.
But even with a standpoint, there's like so much history associated to it. There's so many presidents and generals and like you know, if you took a U.S. history class, you generally know what West Point is. And
that was a dig, and that was me.
So I might not be able to find the ketchup on the middle shelf.
But at least you know what West Point
But at least I know what West. There you go, Knuckles.
Touche. No, I don't know how I missed that, but I will say I don't have military in my immediate family, so it wasn't something talked about. Where you guys talk about it a lot on your side.
Did you study the Revolution, U.S. Revolution?
I'm sure. Like I remember 7th grade studying. No, wait, that's not Texas history. That would have nothing to do with it. So
correct.
I don't know when I would have. I'm sure we did. Now that I remember
or the Civil War.
But Mike, I don't retain that stuff.
True,
you know that with history.
It was probably in and out.
I don't remember.
Like, not relevant to me.
Yeah, for the test, I
makes
did.
Sense. Yeah, everyone. That makes sense.
But yeah, I've never heard of anyone going to even West Point. I don't know a single.
Like person. I don't. One piece of knowledge I don't retain much of is like
the ketchup is?
Art history. I like art quite a bit.
Me too.
Or one thing I have zero retention of, and it is literally, I think I have some sort of auditory issue. I cannot remember lyrics.
Yeah, or music.
I can't even hear them. It's almost like I become completely deaf.
Y'all, I'm not talking about like he doesn't pick up on like pop songs. I mean, like the man probably can't sing all the words correctly to Jingle Bells. I'm not kidding.
No, I can do that.
Even the not popular parts.
I could do that. I could do Jingle Bells because it was repeated at chorus.
So
but I can, anyway, long story short
Jingle Bells.
Jingle all the way.
Now what?
Oh, what fun it is. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to have I
told y'all.
I don't know.
I told y'all.
Wait, I know this. Hold on.
Come on.
I'm not going to do this right now because I'm on the spot.
No.
Also, I want to sing.
It's Jingle Bells.
It's not my fault.
It's not like a hymn.
I can have how can I have like crazy retention reading, but I cannot remember lyrics? It's wild.
That's.
I literally think
feel
there's
like
something
that's
wrong.
more like crazy than me not knowing what West Point was.
Yeah, but it's not like I want to.
I would love to know what West Point was, but I just kind of forgot.
Do you think I don't want to remember lyrics? Everyone wants to remember lyrics.
Just try really hard. Jingle Bells.
We're off the Jingle Bell thing now. That's over. The audience is tuned out.
Oh, what fun
it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Good job.
See, it was easy.
So you just need that one word, but that's wild that you don't know that.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh.
Next.
What's
the next word?
That's the lyric.
It's wild. I'm telling you. I've never met anyone. You truly don't know words. It's
do know words.
And you're so smart. It's like that part of your brain. It's like you use too much of this.
No, I don't. I actually have a harder time, and where you probably have an easier time. If you were to put like a scientific equation to a song, you would actually remember it. You'd have no idea what you're saying, but you'd be saying it.
Yes.
Whereas I have to have it, if it has music behind it, I'm less likely to hear the words. Wow. It actually makes it harder for me to do. Now, strange, if I hear like, I actually like EDM music, but I listen to music without words.
Oh, I know. You blare it like a club.
But then I can actually think and study, and then I can memorize. But it's like the music and the words have to be disconnected. And when the words come into it, it like blends into the actual like, what's the actual music behind it.
So when I was in college, it's so funny you say that because that was one.
By the way, there is a syndrome associated to this, just so you know. It's like auditory deafness. There's like a certain disconnect of it. So yeah.
Well,
I don't know if it's syndrome or whatever it is. I'm not giving myself a diagnosis.
Yeah,
but there's
something
clearly
for
something
sure.
there.
Well, so exactly what you said, memorized by music. I very much have that musical gene. I was a singer, I did musical theater. Yep. And so what I would do is I would take popular songs that I knew every single word to. And I remember one my freshman year was Me and You by Cassie. It's me and you. Are you ready? Think I'm going to make a move. Baby, tell me how you like it. Tell me how you like it. Okay, so I would take those songs and I would be like, you subtract the 7, 2 on the right side. Then we got to drop. I literally would make those songs and I would memorize it. But the problem was I would do good on the test and then I'd forget it a month later. Do you see what I'm saying? So it was very short retention. My brain, I couldn't remember the long. Whereas
but that's not really learning.
Vaughn, I know you retain more info versus like why I can't tell you much about wars, which is not great.
Well, it's not about because that's you. It's not just about learning wars, but I think
I don't know a lot of. I don't remember history.
Part of it is I do reading comprehension and retention of knowledge. I have a very high retention of it.
You do,
but it's not. But it's also I think partially because I've had to force myself to learn in a way that probably. What's weirdest thing is I can actually remember, like if somebody has a conversation, I have no issue with like conversational skills or reading things. It's literally just when music is overlaid on it.
I think it's meaning. I think it's also like a meaning, like you are an intellectual. So like in history, are you telling me that you never found that interesting? Because I think you probably found it interesting, so you listened and then you retained it.
Songs are
like that.
I think songs have a harder thing. It's like poetry as well. There's often no meaning, and sometimes there's no actually like auditory connect to it. It's like a lyric isn't really connected to the next lyric.
Careful, because I think a lot of artists.
Well, they have meaning in it, but it's like, but I said it's like poetry.
Yeah,
poetry sometimes itself there's a larger meaning to it, but like the words don't always connect up.
A next hot take, what I actually think probably is going on with you is I wonder if the beat is overriding words. So
it does.
Like the words are too fast and you hear the beat and you're a very big beats person. That's why you like the EDM. And so your brain is honing in on one thing and one thing only because you're not a very strong multitasker. So I wonder if your brain is honing in on one thing.
It's probably, I mean, I could see something to that because I'll hear the music. And then, of course, I can remember the hooks to things, like the chorus line, like the thing that I repeat over and over. Sure, yes. What the hook could be?
Uh-oh. What's the next lyric?
Uh-oh. It repeats it.
See, I don't need a hook in this beat. All I need is a track in the background.
That's exactly right. It's a weird thing about Jen is that she'll sometimes start singing songs she hasn't heard in 30 years, and she'll say to herself that she'll go, I don't know why I know these words.
Know how I know
and I don't even know the words until I'm singing it, which is bizarre because your brain's like a computer storing something that has and it's just coming out and you have no knowledge of like that prior to the music.
Well, I think where you have the beat knocks out the words, I think the beat guides my remembrance of the words.
Bizarre.
So like I'll get 2 notes, like I'm really good at music bingo, so it can drop like 2 beats and I'll be like, why can't I think of a song right now? I don't know. I'll think of the song and so like Jingle Bells, like real quick.
There's something to like, I promise you.
Jingle Bells.
I promise you there's probably some, what kind of.
Where did we get here from periods?
Well, and conspiracy theories. It's a whole different, we have all these things that are going on. Poor night's sleep, to your periods, to irritability, to now auditory auditory processing issue. That's what it is. That's what the word I was looking for. So it's auditory processing issue.
You have that?
So who would like an audiologist be the person that would be the one that would know that?
Let's
Googling now?
ChatGPT.
Okay, well you can do that as we do that. I guarantee you there are people out there that are listening. Auditory processing issue connected to music.
I'm going to have ChatGPT.
It'd be music.
I know. I'm going to have ChatGPT diagnose this. Don't talk because I'm going to do voiceover, okay?
Okay.
My husband is an extremely intelligent man, period. He went to West Point, period.
And good looking.
Super good at math. Okay. He's handsome, period. But for some reason, he cannot remember a single lyric to any song. ... He will recognize the beat and what the song is, but even if he's heard the song for 40 years, he does not know the words. Period. Why? Question mark.
Do you know what's weird about this before it goes? Do you know what's weird is I'll remember when I heard the song and where I heard the song and the emotion behind the song. I just don't know the words.
Okay, you ready? Here we go. It's actually more common than you may think.
Oh.
And it doesn't mean anything's wrong with him.
Is it in quotes?
Down to yes. Wrong is in
well,
quotes.
Thanks, ChatGPT for shaming me.
It comes down to how different brain process and store information. Number 1, brain wiring, music versus language memory. Some people's brains are wired to lock into rhythm and melody more than words. That's what I just said. The auditory cortex processes the beat and tone, while the lyrics require language centers, like Wernicke's area.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
To encode. If his brain prioritizes patterns over language and music, the feel of the song sticks, but not the words.
That's funny, and I literally just said, I even just said the feel. I know what the emotion is.
He said, attention focus.
Yeah.
If he's the type that gets absorbed into the sound, like the beat, then he may not actually pay attention to the lyrics in the first place, and you can't remember what you haven't decoded.
That's probably true, part of that.
Memory strengths versus weaknesses. Memory is domain specific. Someone brilliant at math, spatial reasoning, and strategic thinking might not equally be as strong as verbal recall. Lyrics are not essentially memorization, the same mental muscle as remembering poetry. I don't know. Active versus passive listening. Many listen around the lyrics. They know the emotion or the tone, and they can sing along with or the last word in the line, but their brain hasn't memorized the detail.
Yeah, that's right.
That's you.
Yeah.
Possible learning style quirk. If he's more analytical than verbal linguistic in learning style, words set to music might actually feel like noise rather than meaningful units to memorize.
I wouldn't say that.
What's funny is the fact that he can recognize the beat so reliably suggests that his muscle memory is strong. His brain just prefers the structure over the words. Curious. It's curious about you.
No, what?
Does he remember movie quotes or poems any better?
No.
No. Good to know.
No, tell it. Say no.
You want me to keep
going? Yeah, because this is great. We're having an on-air diagnosis by a computer.
I'm going to ask him to diagnose you. All right, ready? Here we go. Shh. Okay. No, he actually can't remember any movie quotes.
That's not true. I remember some.
What would you diagnose him with?
But they're all Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes.
Dictation.
But they're all like, I'll remember all like Terminator and Predator and all those quotes because they're like one-liners.
No, you don't have anything. He just said, instead of a diagnosis, it's more like he's got strong pattern recognition and logical memory, but a weaker verbal recall.
Interesting.
It's just words.
It's words.
That's why you don't remember when I tell you what our schedule is.
See, it's not
I'm going to start singing it like this, and then Monday we podcast at 1.
Do you realize?
You remember that?
That's the exact opposite, is what it said it would do.
That's
it literally is like, literally what we just went through would be the way that you would guarantee.
Podcast on Monday.
Guarantee that I will remember it. Please start saying.
Slapping. Monday.
No,
Podcast.
So that is interesting, and it kind of makes sense. But it's like it's an auditory processing disconnect or issues, all that is, and it is more common, I think, than people think. So yeah,
totally.
So I mean, literally, we're here to talk conspiracy theories, but since we're on a tangent,
who needs this?
Yeah, we might as well keep going on.
Okay.
Beard or no beard? You like beards?
On you?
Just in general.
I don't like men with long beards because it grosses me out when food gets in it. But I like yours. I just don't think when it's long hair, it's not like hygienic. Like it's hair like on a head.
What if it's like shaped? It's like looks really nice. No, that's not your thing.
Is yours technically just a short beard? What would you call
it's
that?
longer than normal. I mean, I kind of trim it here. I haven't shaved in like 3 days. I did it on Friday. I just trimmed up a little bit on Friday, so it keeps it like even length.
I like rugged, clean, like you right now. It's like he's corporate, but he's a little rugged on the side.
So you like the facial hair, huh?
I do love facial hair. I just don't.
So Berkeley,
if it's longer past like the chin, then I'm a no.
I have shaved maybe clean 2 times.
I don't like clean
in
shaven.
the last 12 years. I did it after COVID, because when I told you, if you don't know, during COVID, I got that weird alopecia spot. I lost it there, but I also lost a chunk on my face.
No, I saw a reel the other day that was like the man was like, "Hey, honey, I shaved," and she was packing up a suitcase and it said, "Be back in 2 weeks." And that's how strongly I feel about it.
It's that bad?
I do not like clean shaven face. It's
that
not
bad.
like it's your face. Your face is still your face with facial hair. You
I
look
know.
the same.
It's like, so you don't like the way I look.
I don't. You look like no. You look like a baby, like a million. It takes like a little bit of the masculinity.
But there's a certain point
to me.
where as men age, like, you know, you shave down, you drop 10 years off. Like, you know, if guys are in their 60s and don't shave.
I actually think you look younger with facial hair, Mike.
I disagree with that.
That's fine.
But also at the same time, I obviously have preferences facial hair. I was just curious what your thoughts were.
But wouldn't, if I said like, Mike, hands down, I do not want you to have no facial hair.
I'm
When
fine
you
with
want
that.
me to stay attracted
I'm totally
and be
fine with
like,
that.
yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. So I shaved one time. Remember Berkeley asked me to shave?
Yeah. And
I
then
was
someone
like,
cried. Someone
she did.
cried. That's right.
She told me to put it back on.
She was little. I remember that.
It was at the old house, and I came
Yeah.
out, and I was like, okay. And then she like looked at me, and then she started crying.
I remember, me too. And then I was like,
Put it back on.
put it back on, Mike.
I was like, well, good thing is it'll come back on. It's just going to take a little bit of time. All right, another hot take.
Okay.
Gray, white, or brown, like a dyed beard. Dyed beard. I don't want to dye beard.
I like whatever your face is doing naturally.
Yeah.
I don't care if you dye it.
I'm just curious. No, I'm not saying about me.
If you do
I'm
dye
saying,
it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I do not notice that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I like gray. That's why I married someone
you know what's
12 years
You know what's
older than me.
weird? I kind of like, to me, it's almost like the in-between is like where it gets all like splotchy.
Yeah.
I get what I mean. I have no issue with anyone dyes their hair. A beard. I've done it before. I've done it for a wedding and stuff because it does when it tones it out and it looks fine. It's what it is.
It's so funny because
Obviously, Just for Men is a shelf product, so millions of guys do it. That's legitimately too. Nobody talks about it, but it's clearly like if you're in your 50s or 60s and have a fully dark beard, that's not natural.
what's so funny is he'll come out and he'll like dye his beard and he's like, oh, I look so much younger. And I'm like, bro literally looks exactly the same to me. Like I see absolutely no difference.
Yeah, so, but I do like it. I think it looks good when it's like white. I kind of like the white look. I think it looks pretty
good
cool.
because it's popping.
It's
the
going
white's
white.
popping right now. You are getting more white like pretty quickly.
Well,
now
it's
that we're,
weird
like,
as it
sitting
is
here
that
looking
my
at it.
hair has barely any gray in it. I'm almost 50 years old and I have like no gray.
You got some grays, babe.
Barely. For my age?
Maybe for your age.
Yeah. I'm 49 years old. I've never, that's like,
You got good hair.
I barely have any gray.
You have great hair.
So that's the one thing but guys' beards usually change first before their hair. But that's, so I might go white.
I wonder when I'm going to go white. Because redheads go white.
They do. They get,
They'll
just go
gray,
straight.
apparently. So I'm just going to be a little cotton ball running around.
Well, your grandpa was red, right? And he was completely white.
Yep.
So my mom's, I think my dad's dad had a full head of hair, and my mom's dad, well, he had, my dad's dad had like kind of like the receding, but it was still there. And my mom's dad, when he died in his 80s, and he still had hair. He was like, it was thinner, but he still had hair.
Well, the good thing is you kind of have a tiny forehead, so even if your hair does go back,
it's probably good.
It won't be that bad.
It's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Looks
okay,
normal.
he has a normal sized forehead now.
So wait, my hair does actually go to my eyebrows.
Yeah.
If you're not looking, it
100%.
literally, like I have no forehead.
Neither do I, for a girl. I don't.
That's
I
a
don't
bad
have,
visual. We have foreheads.
I really don't have a big forehead. I have a tiny, tiny face. That's why I have to wear kids medium and hats.
People are visualizing, aren't seeing the video. They're like, it's
ogres, tiny little elf people.
It connects to my eyebrows, and I pull my eyebrows back, and that's actually what creates the hair. This is an awesome conspiracy.
Let's talk about a conspiracy theory.
22 minutes into this,
nothing.
and we've talked about absolutely nothing.
None of that was planned. That was just off the cuff.
So we've ripped on each other a little bit. We've
Yeah.
insulted each other's intelligence. You've dissected my auditory processing issues.
That was fun.
Thank you, Dr. Chappie.
Hold on, Dr. Chappie.
Chappie?
One more thing.
Yes.
If you had to ask ChatGPT about a quirk that I have to diagnose, what would you ask it? That's a good question. Wow.
I don't know if I need to diagnose it. Kind of know what it is.
What?
You might have a little stuff.
What? ADHD?
Yeah.
Yeah. We all know that. I've had opponents, me playing tennis in a league with grown women, and I had someone stop and ask me if I had ADHD.
Yeah,
and
but
she was like, I knew it. I'm a school
goofy.
principal.
That's because you're goofy. That's a totally different thing.
I'm not goofy.
Yeah. No, I don't. Actually, it's funny I don't know if you really do, because you bounce around tasks, but you finish things. And the one thing is
sometimes.
Yeah.
I think Haley would disagree sometimes on workdays.
But it's because you're juggling a ton. When you juggle a ton, it's easy to let things kind of drop. When you're focused on, and when you get into something, it's like you go really, really deep, which also is kind of a sign of hyperfixation and hyperfocus.
Yes.
So that might be a little bit of it as well. But look, I clearly have tendencies on that spectrum as well, for sure. Like 100%. But
I think I combat ADHD very well because I think naturally, just like from genetics, I do know that I'm a very driven. I don't sit. Like I want to complete. And even if it's not the stuff I'm supposed to be completing, like I make a list and I tell Haley I'm going to do these 7 things, I might complete one of those things, but I did 4 other things that I thought of off the side that needed to be done. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I'm constantly completing. It's just sometimes it's not on focus.
Sure. I kind of think once you figure out how to manage it as best you can, and I think there's natural ways you can manage it as you get older, you start to recognize things. I still think it's a superpower. I really do. I think it kind of.
I think it depends.
I really do because there's so many different things you like want to do, and there's so many different things that you're like your brain thinks quick. You're onto something. You move. It spurs creativity. I kind of think there's its own form of
like energy. People
I really do.
Ask me like how I have so much energy, and I mean I do drink. I say I self-medicate with coffee. I'm kidding when I say that, but I think it's just a personality.
Yeah, and there are people that have like really, really like debilitating forms of it, and that's a different thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Totally.
I think depression. I think some of the times you can ADHD, like severe has depression issues and stuff. I've never. We're too deep now into stuff we don't know and can't make claims about. But you wouldn't ask. There's nothing you can think of. I'm trying to think of something I do that's like ridiculous, like not being able to.
Well, I'd be like, why does she leave? Why does she leave half-empty cereal bowls around the house randomly?
Dude, that's so aged. I haven't had cereal in so long. It's old. You got to get a new one. That's
Coffee
like
cups?
years old. Coffee cups in the bathroom for sure.
Yeah.
But
there was a while that I would just put them in your.
You have like 15 of those.
We got into the coffee cup. What do you mean?
You like drop trowel by the bed and leave it to rot.
Yeah, but that's the pile. That's the pile it belongs in.
And then you do it before the shower. Like you do have piles
There's 2
everywhere.
piles, but they go in specific piles.
No, but I have
They're not random.
That's one thing. You have like 18.
Yeah, but mine has a specific spot. I take my shirt, and I don't sleep naked. I sleep in underwear, but it's like I go, and my stuff goes in that one spot.
Didn't you used to sleep naked for a nice visual for those who are
just
listening?
for you?
No, I'm pretty sure you did at the very beginning, and then we had kids, and you're like, this is not okay. Right? Right before yes.
Maybe.
I think you did sleep naked. Because I was like,
honestly,
is that normal? Like, I remember questioning that, but I didn't know. Like, anyway, well, dang it. So we don't have anything to diagnose me. Kind of sad. And now a quick moment from the sponsor of this podcast, Better Wild. If you follow me over on Instagram, then you know that I give Gary, our most perfect golden retriever, Better Wild allergy chews. And we have seen an improvement in his coat, his hair, his itchy skin. I swear that boy is allergic to everything under the sun, especially in the summer. But the biggest testimony since giving Gary these allergy chews is his eyes aren't all gunky and draining like black goop. They're very like messy all the time. And for some reason, these allergy chews have totally cleared up his eyeballs to where they're not gunky all the time. That was the biggest thing that I noticed very quickly, that not even his allergy medication would do for him. So instead of him taking an allergy pill twice a day, we now can kind of alleviate some of that by giving him these allergy chews. As we all know, health starts in our gut, and that's also the same for dogs. Better Wild helps build up your dog's defense system by strengthening its gut. It is veterinarian formulated and approved. The unique mechanisms that make Better Wild different from competitors is their proprietary ancestral wolf probiotic blend combined with L-Sacchii, which is a postbiotic derived from kimchi. I have been given an exclusive discount that is the best deal you will find. To redeem it, go to betterwild.com/redhead and use my code redhead for the exclusive offer. This stacks on top of other discounts and is the best discount available exclusively for you, our audience. The best part is they have a generous 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so you really don't have much to lose in that regard. Again, go to betterwild.com/redhead and use my code redhead for that exclusive discount. I want to talk about the Denver International Airport because I don't know anything about the Denver International Airport.
So Haley, afterwards, she popped in on that one. She's like, "Oh, that's a big one right now because there's a whole bunch of funky stuff there."
What is it? Okay, so enlighten us.
So the Denver International Airport was like this modern, biggest, most expansive airport that was built. I think it was 2000 when it was built, and I actually remember because I lived in Colorado at the time.
Have we flown into Denver?
Yeah. Remember, it's a really awful airport to fly out of because they have like one terminal at the time. They had 2 things. Yeah. It was the line. We've done it because we went skiing.
Alicia's like she hates that airport.
Insane lines, and then everything has a tram. So there's you have to go from the main TSA, and then you get into the trams afterwards. So it creates these massive, massive bottlenecks. Similar.
Is that the one where we were upstairs looking down and I was like, I have to get in
and then you got in the wrong line
Yes.
because you didn't have TSA. And
I
then,
hate that.
So you were in TSA and then they kicked you out of TSA because until I basically was like crying and begging you to like, please just go to get it done. It takes 5 minutes. Yeah. Just, you got to go do it.
Right. I remember this. It's all coming back to me.
But you did it. So kudos to you and to Haley for helping.
I think she might have.
All right. Well, it was a little pressure, a little peer pressure to get you to go do that.
Okay.
But that was the one that you were in that other line and you thought you weren't going to make the plane because I was passed through it. It took you 40 minutes longer to get through it.
So what's the conspiracy?
Anyway, well, the conspiracy is that it is a secret headquarters for the Illuminati.
Wait, really?
Yeah, really.
What are the signs? Like, what do they mean?
All right. They have multiple things. There's creepy murals, which clearly...
I've seen a lot of creepy art everywhere.
There's some specific ones. They have Freemason plaques. They have a massive underground tunnel system.
How do you know this?
Because that's been
proven.
Have
you seen it?
Yeah, 100%.
With your own eyes?
They have a statue called Lucifer with glowing eyes.
Ew, that's weird.
It's a blue horse. Yeah.
Why, that is weird. Hold on. I'm going to say Denver murals.
Yeah.
Denver airport
and
murals.
And even to make it even creepier, they've even acknowledged that they've had issues with lizard people.
Okay, the mural is weird. Like, I'm looking at one.
Yeah.
One of the strange art murals at Denver airport. But do they just
want to
describe
it so people that aren't, like, you obviously can't see your phone. You're looking at it.
Well, is it well-known art? Because I'm going to look like a dummy because I don't know art. Okay.
It clearly is.
It's like a girl who looks terrified with like a killer whale jumping over the side of it with like a penguin in a box.
Yeah.
The girl's like holding the box. And then there's like a jaguar and weird eyes with people. Yeah. I can't even describe it. There's a sad little boy holding a squirrel.
I think
there's like a dead girl. What the heck?
I know
What
is
that? It's a child.
And then look this one up and correct me if I'm wrong. I think I remember this, but I think the artist who made the horse, the blue horse there, he either died making it or right afterwards. I think that's like part of the whole thing. So there's all these crazy things that happen and like symbolism associated to the occult and...
Okay, the Denver airport blue horse, known as officially Blue Mustang named Lucifer by locals. I'm confused. Part of the horse fell on him?
I guess so. Yeah, as well. They were making it. So yeah, it's quite.
So is it a statue? Oh, it's a statue. It's weird. Why is it there? Why is there a blue horse with red glowing eyes at an airport?
Right. I mean, those are the things where it's like you have all these things. So.
Ew! Look at it at night.
It's creepy, right?
Yeah. Why would they do that? Why would they want that?
That's what we're talking about.
It's controversial reception. A powerful artistic statement, and others find it unsettling. Okay. So with the Illuminati, I don't know much about that either. It's like a secret club of super wealthy, right?
Yeah, it could be wealthy.
It's basically like they say
it could also be
devil.
Like deep state, people that control the government, that guide things behind the scene. It's all part of that. That's like
Beyonce and Jay-Z are apparently part of it.
I don't know, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that say anyone in extreme power and wealth, they would say that's part of it.
T-Swift.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that would say that. Like, how do you get to that? Yeah, I'm sure that's what people would claim, that you can't get that way unless somebody, allows you or dictates you to get into that.
Basically like selling your soul to the devil type thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it that. I'd call it more...
the Illuminati is historically fact, right? There was the Illuminati.
Yes, there's connections to Illuminati and there's connections to a society that focused on science over religion. And that's where it was. It's not necessarily like the devil is what it would be. From my understanding, it's more about the lack of it, where us as humans have the ability to control our own destinies, where like Benjamin Franklin was part of that society. So one of the four founders of our country, right?
Yeah.
And so that these people were founding it and they were looking at it as, this mapping things out and guiding the way that our government and country and things would be. It was not necessarily religious driven. It was about a secular way to driven through man's ability to it. So that was sort of the mindset of what it was. Your stomach rumbling?
My stomach's rumbling. Something that makes me think of like us, guiding our own path and creating our own destiny. This is where I kind of don't like the word manifesting. Because have you heard that's like a trendy word? Sure. It's been trendy. Like, I manifested this. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Manifest could be like just trying really hard and studying. And so you made and then you manifested it essentially. How do you feel about like, I manifested this? Because to me, it's like, okay, did you make good choices to get here? Sure, if you want to call that manifesting. Or did you literally just say over and over in your brain that you did it and so it came to be? Do you know what I'm saying? There's like different perceptions on that.
Yeah.
I think manifesting is like a kind of a dumb word. It's like, okay, you see what I'm saying?
I mean, where you put your mind, your efforts will go, right? You can't, but there is, even from a Christian standpoint, there is an idea of not necessarily manifesting things, but about having faith in and praying and bringing it towards, and that believing in faith is a form of manifestation.
So it's like semantics to you, like
a little bit. It's about how the mindset is, but obviously through a Christian mindset is that you believe through faith that the power is not in us,
correct,
that the power is of God, but you still go in faith through the belief of it, right? Like if you don't, but the end state is kind of the same, right? Because if you wanted something, you believe it, but you're believing, you're giving it to God. And in Christianity, it's believed through faith, through action of that faith. That means that that you pray that it's already been answered. Right? So therefore, that is in its own aspect a form of manifestation.
I think of manifesting as like
meditation on a subject, and that's, it's there are people that get real spooked up by the term meditation, but biblically it talks about meditating, but it's meditating in the right standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's meditating in the right area, and where you can get super creepy and spiritual. I think you can manifest other things outside. I personally believe, I believe there's a spiritual realm. Totally do.
Right, but I still
that's a whole other podcast about our faith. I think that's something we should talk about because it is important to us, but I totally believe that you can manifest things outside of it. And
I don't. I think God gives you, he does that. You didn't manifest crap.
No, I'm not talking, I'm talking about from a spiritual realm. If you want to bring in something not of God and not of an angelic world, you can manifest other things that could deceive you as being good, but it's not good.
Okay.
Like demonic.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, I get, I'm like thinking like the Ouija boards and like all that stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't think you necessarily have to have a Ouija board.
But there is legitimately, if you want to just get from a standpoint of not spooky, not creepy, there is a lot of evidence about positive thinking and believing.
Totally. I agree with you on that.
And that if you're going to manifest something and say, hey, my day is going to be great today. Good things are going to happen. I'm going to have,
that's not manifesting. I think of that as just having a positive attitude. Why do we have to put a hype word on it?
Because that's about the semantics of what people want to say.
I don't like that.
It's not like, and people can write vision. You had vision. Like I think you did vision boards in your design, right? You put things out to inspire you.
Mood boards,
vision boards inspire you, creates inspiration. It puts your mind into something. When you put it down on paper, you start like consciously and subconsciously, you're thinking about that. So when you do design for your homes and you mood board it out,
no, that's different. It's a plan, and it's the plan that I do.
I know, but watch, but there are times you put it together, and then the next morning you wake up and you're like, no, I'm going to do something that this doesn't work. I'm going to do something like, oh, I want to do that, right? Because your brain's still working. Even if you do something, your brain's still working and thinking about it. And once your plan's done, you're done. I mean, you've gone in design, even the homes and the show, you've gone and like, that one didn't look as good as I thought.
Usually I'll change it if I see it in person.
Yeah, you're like, it's not quite what I thought. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
But when you start to put the plan together and you think through things, if you're not putting it down on paper, it's never going to actualize. It's not.
I don't agree with that. I think it's a waste of time. I think that's
you put things on paper.
Like
I'm talking about your design
list for the day.
I'm talking about your designs. You guys map things. I mean, of course, you can design on the fly. It's just sometimes.
But I decided it. Like whenever we're doing the mood board, it's like I want navy, I want cream, and then it's like I rarely changed. That was just so we could. Well, if we're going to get into it. So when I'm designing for the TV show, they have to see these boards to look at the design because HGTV, while they're not designing whatsoever. I'm doing the designing. They still want to know that I'm not doing a lime green cabinet with purple tile, although they probably would have loved that. They were always like, we need bright,
let's go crazy.
Need lots of color. And I'm like, my client doesn't want lime green cabinets. Like this is real people. Like I have to do what they want. Anyway, I see what you're saying. I think there's different types of people, and some people love the time. Some people love the time spent on like what my mind, this sounds so mean, but it is. I'm just letting you guys in. This is like how I think, like the fluffy stuff of like wasting time to like create a pretty board and be like one day, or I'm like, just do it. Just say in your brain, I'm going to do this and just do it. I guess I'm more goal oriented than like inspired by.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do it, I say I do it. I don't need to put it on a board. I'm just going to go real quick.
Yeah, I would challenge you in this that kind of works. There are places and times that it does work. It's a little more impulsiveness, and that's not bad because impulsive creates like immediate action on it if it's directed in the right place. But then you can also waste a lot of time. And let's say standpoint of we're bringing to in a business sense. There's a reason why you write business plans out.
Totally.
There's a reason why you think through things and you think about the pros and the cons and the value, like what goal, like literally simplest thing in business. If you're starting a business, I can tell you one thing: if you're not creating a solution to a problem that doesn't exist, don't do it. And I know it's not like literally anything. That's literally any business. If it's like, hey, I'm going to make a coffee shop and well, there's no really lack of coffee, but if you decide that the problem is there's not really good coffee and you go put it directly next door to a Starbucks, you'll get some business. It's going to be hard.
No, I think you're right.
Because the solution, the problem, there's got to be a legitimate problem with a legitimate solution, and you can do that in retail, you can do that in restaurants, you can do that in inventions, you can do that in med tech. There's all these different things that you can do. But that's the simple as what business is.
I think if we were to ask Haley, because she knows me in more of a working mindset, maybe in the office hours, more even than you do, because she's right beside me, but it takes her a minute to get me to like sit down and like, let's map this out or like plan it out or like, let's look for pictures of this. I kind of want to push that off and like do my daily. Yeah. And I don't think in the moment I'm pushing it off. It's just that for me to just sit and like stare at her for 2 hours and like, we've got to map this out. It's not yay for me. It's like, well, hold on, I'm going to go do the thing that I wanted to do real quick for the day because I want to do my things that I have on my list. And so I'm like, I don't need to waste time on that. I already know what I want to do type thing when sometimes I don't, but I don't want to give. I think that's probably ADHD.
It's that. And it's also probably the way your brain works. I would say that if people say, if you had a goal and you wrote these things out, and writing things out for people like me matters. There are things that I've written out. I have a little 3x5 card on the type of man I want to be. That's literally on your dresser, in my dresser. Closet. Yeah, I've seen it. What are the things that define you? And I wrote those things out because those are the things that reset you in a day. It's like, am I going back to the faith statement I have? Am I going back to the faith of the statement of the man I want to be to as a husband, as a father, as a business leader, as a friend? Because those are the key things that I have on there. And as a family member, like those are the things that define it. And if all those things aren't in there,
I should have.
But that's
the woman I want to be on it.
That's called man.
But I don't even think to do that stuff.
But it's not a standpoint. I encourage people to do that because you write it out and then and it's not like I look at it every day. I'm like, I'm going to be this person. It's just like, cool. And then Berkeley there say it was so she was like, what is this? And I told her and she's like, oh, that's cool. And that was,
Berkeley's very much like you.
That's really cool. She's like, that's cool. And it's not, so the reason why our kids' names had to have a meaning. You're like, that's just this really great sounding name. But the point is that I think from a standpoint of, it depends on where you're going with the term manifestation, right? Self-manifestation. Oh, yeah,
that's how we got here.
Self-manifestation to me isn't necessarily something that is like super scriptural or super Christian basis, because you want to have help in it. Our faith is that there's God in there. You have Christ in the center of all these things that is going to support those statements, right?
I just think at the end of the day, the end statement is you didn't manifest crap. God did that. He allowed it to happen. Yeah. And so, but then again, you go back to the realistic side of me as I did all these actions, X, Y, and Z to get me here.
But there are plenty of people that aren't believers. A lot of people are listening to this thing that aren't believers, and that's great. Sure. There's nothing like we want people to listen to. So we have our faith statements and things, and good things happen to people as well. And they will say, well, I've written these things out and I've worked my butt off, because there is an aspect of that. It's like about putting it down, taking action, moving forward.
Do you remember when I came, this was like just last year, and I was like, I think you asked me like, what do you think your gift is? And I go, I don't have a gift. Yeah. I don't know what my spiritual gift is. And you said, I know yours. And I was like, well, tell me what it is, because I had no idea. And yours was like, yours is faith. Like no matter what, you will always trump it with, God did that, you didn't do that, or whatever. Yes. And I truly do believe that. And
without a doubt, that is
it is. I never stop believing.
You have unwavering belief structure on it, where it's like that's a again, I actually look at that as a gift, because a lot of people like me, and I do have strong faith aspects of things, but I have an open-mindedness aspect of trying to think through things and analytically believe on it, because I have a brain that's not wired to just be like, believe in these things. Whereas like if I were to go in, I think I have a very strong sense of discernment. I have a strong sense of.
Well, I feel like I do too. That's the thing is like with my spiritual gift, it's like, okay, do I sound like the person that's just a follower and can get sucked into anything? But I think it's only faith with God, Jesus Christ, because I'm really skeptical of everything else.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like to the point of even myself in my life, I know with my brain cells that I've sacrificed a lot and I've done a lot each and every day in the hours I have to get where I am today. I know that if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have gotten to that. And if I wouldn't have gotten to that, then I wouldn't have gotten to that. And then I wouldn't have gotten the email to come into the show, to make a show. I know all those are like staircases, but I also know that God allowed that to happen to me.
I agree with that as well.
And so like, I feel like it trumps all. So I can sit here and be like, I did all these right things and I'm this and I'm that. And that's why I've created this platform or whatever. But I know it could be taken away in one split second I don't think he's like that, but I'm just saying I didn't get here because of me.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, that's not a conspiracy theory from our perspective, right?
Right. That's true. That's its own conspiracy theory.
No, it's not.
Don't believe.
I mean, faith in is, but faith in is like, I look at this is that God has a plan for everyone. Independent of where we are and where we stand in our belief structure.
Right.
He has he has a plan for everyone.
And we can. Even if you don't believe in God, I believe that God made you and loves you 100%. And that has a plan for you, even though you don't.
100%.
And that's kind of a weird thing to think of because it's like we're putting our belief onto everyone, if you think about it in that way. But we also don't expect everyone to believe.
Yeah. I do believe, and that's even as a believer or Christian, it's not like life is easy and not like bad things happen because that happens as well. There's all these things that can happen independent of God, and I just look at it as the belief of where our hearts and lives are going to go and where we go after we pass in this realm and how our journey is going to be completed through him and influence in this world and impact and positivity and all the things that we want to have. Yeah.
We really turn this from
conspiracy
theories to...
But I think in any independent choice and decision, I think God knows every decision we make. I don't actually believe... I don't know about this. Here's one...
Okay, so hold on. Here's my final question for you because let's reel it back in. I already got the 40-minute signal.
I was just because I want to talk. Here's something. Can we talk about another podcast? Actually, because I do think we should probably talk about faith at one podcast, right?
Yeah, but not right now.
No, because there's something I want to talk about.
I want to know if the Illuminati is meeting up in Denver.
No, this is even hot. This is a hot subject even with Christianity.
Okay.
This is one I want to pin this one for later as well. Do you believe in free will or predetermination?
Both.
That's a good one to talk about.
I think they go both hand in hand. I think God made us free will, but ultimately he already knows what's going to happen.
Does he?
Yes, 100%.
Can he?
He knows. He knew.
See, we'll talk about that one later. This is a good one.
Yeah, I think both can exist. Okay. But do you think that something fishy? Truthfully, be honest. No funny business.
Okay.
Do you think something weird is going down at the?
No, I just think they probably. It's much like some marketing campaigns that have recently gone south for companies and stuff, where they allowed an art director to pick a bunch of stuff out. Art has a tendency to be weird and be provocative.
Yeah.
And I think that's
brings out emotions.
Yeah. And I think some artists have intention and other artists just want to create visceral emotion. And sometimes they do it through really wild, crazy art. And that's one thing art is intended to do. And I think that they're like, probably gave somebody the task and that person was like, yes, I love this stuff.
Make it weird.
Let's make it weird. Okay. So now, the DIA was Denver International Airport. They've leaned in on this one, which is pretty cool. And I was teasing that earlier, but they said like they're doing construction. They said, pardon our mess, we have a lizard people problem.
So what's that? What's a lizard people thing?
Oh Lord!
People who are half lizard? People think that exists? Come on, that's not real.
It's about lizard people have human skin on them. They look like us, but they're actually part of the Illuminati or the occult or the deep state. They're the ones that
That's not real.
That's a absolutely real conspiracy theory.
Mike.
100% people believe that. They believe a lot of the leaders are actually lizards. Yes.
There's no way.
Real. Yes. Yeah.
People actually think that's true.
Yes, they do. And
people are crazy.
Whether they're aliens or whether they were an ancient civilization that has continued to live on, that developed in tangent to the evolutionary pathways of us coming from the Homo sapien aspect, that could have been something else.
I'm done. I'm already that whole sentence.
And they in themselves were so much more advanced than us that they have guided us.
I just had a vision of me like 90, and I'm sitting there with my friends. You're not there because you're gonna pass away before I turn 90. Please don't die early. I need you to stay around for a long time.
I told you I got 100. That's the goal. I prayed for that. I do.
Okay,
I wonder.
So 2 years post your death, I'm sitting on the porch by myself, sad and lonely. And there's like on the TV, it's like lizard people truly discovered in aliens. Like, and I'm like, well, that didn't age well.
Like what?
Yeah.
Hey, look, there are so many things. And this is from a timeliness relevance aspect. There is a, Jesse Michaels is a YouTuber, and he has this pretty cool YouTube channel called American Alchemy. So shout out. It's actually really, really cool.
How do you know this? Do you listen to it?
Yeah, I watch it. Yeah.
Like in the car?
Yeah, well, yeah. I watch it. Sometimes at night I'll watch, I like some YouTube channels, but he has one. And this guy, he's got some really wild backgrounds, like super intelligent dude, and he's like private equity backgrounds and things like that. But this one, he talked about Peruvian mummies. And this one, so it's kind of wild. But to make it crazier, so Peru and Mexico, they came out with these different things, and they had these like 3 different type of mummies, the super tiny ones, these middle in-between ones, and these other ones that are there. They were mummified in dichromatic earth, which basically dried them out and created this like...
Are they people mummies?
Well, that's the
Mummy
thing.
people?
They don't look like people. They kind of look like people, but they have 3 fingers. So they went down and they did MRIs on these ones. They've proven some of them are fake, that are made from like llama bones probably, or not, or something like a llama. Anyway, these like smaller ones probably aren't real. But then these bigger ones, they have 3 fingers, and they're fully, like, they show the full bone structure. Cone-like heads on them.
No.
So I swear.
If the small ones are fake, then they probably made the big ones
But the
fake
problem
too.
is they know these things are 1,700 years old at least. And they're doing with physicians and doctors, and multiple scientists are saying, like, yeah, we don't know what this is, because it doesn't look like the hand was mutilated.
This is why we just need to live in the moment and chase sales when malls have sales in stores and be happy about record droppings.
You want to make it even...
Let's just live in the moment. Let's be present.
So they have these 3 fingers they call tridactyl is what the term they use these. And so these things, and one of them is pregnant. They found an embryo in it. So how do you fake something to that point where it's so, like, these are the best artists in the entire world if they've made something like that to just like dupe people. It's pretty wild. Point is like, what is that? Like, what, like, it is kind of weird. Yeah. The fact that they have doctors doing MRIs on these things, and it does look, it's pretty compelling. There's like, I mean, you got to think, I'm not saying I know, because I really don't know. It could be complete BS.
I didn't know you like conspiracy theories so much.
It's not conspiracy. This one's more ancient civilization. That's what I look at. I think that's something, I don't know if that's an alien or something else, or maybe a genetically deformed human. It could very well be that. It could be some sort of strange genetic mutation that happened in that region with people. It's possible.
Question, since we're going to end the part 2 of this conspiracy theory, my last question for you is, what is a if you feel comfortable, of course, what is a conspiracy theory that you actually think that there is legit truth? Like, you would stand on a podium and be like, I think there's some truth here. Are there any?
Yeah. I think they all kind of connect. I think personally, because I think it connects to biblical history and biblical mysteries and mythology and of other cultures.
I don't even know what's coming.
I do think the arc of what people have thought our societies have gone through is longer than what we think. Meaning that I believe what we have now as technology, like if you went and showed 2,000 years ago somebody a smartphone, what would they think it is?
Like a bomb. It's going to blow up.
No, they think it's magic.
Oh, or that.
Right. I mean, gosh, what is there's a quote, gosh, I'm blanking on who it was.
So wait, I'm confused. You think that smartphones have already existed in a previous life?
I think there's alternative technologies that could have existed prior, that people found different pathways to knowledge biblically, right? Because we had the flood. So pre-flood of Noah, there was an entire civilization.
Noah had a MacBook.
No, I'm not saying that. But but what did they talk about a lot? They talked about like even in Moses. Moses went to the Pharaoh and he threw down the scepter. Do you remember this? So his magicians and his people threw down, basically turned a staff into a snake, and then he threw down his scepter, and God turned it into a snake and ate that snake. Meaning that things were... Mike, point is...
I was raised into Christianity. I've never heard that story.
Yeah, that's part... Yeah, maybe you should reread the Bible, because
I've never read it cover to cover.
I've
admitted that. I can't
Exodus,
stick with it.
Yeah,
I can't stick with
Genesis and Exodus, read those again. They're good, because that's Old Testament. But things post Old Testament, there are things in there. And obviously Noah was even before this, right? Okay. But they talked about Nephilim, which is the giants, the history, which is an angels and demons had offspring. This is biblical, by the way. Demons had offspring with humans that created the Nephilim. The Nephilim was a giant, a creature of greater intelligence and larger size.
This is historical.
This is not historical. This is biblical. It's not historical.
Demons are impregnating people.
That is called the Nephilim. Yes, that is what that is.
I see how people think this religion is wild.
No, there's some wild stuff.
Like when you tell the stories, you're like...
But again, so then there are a lot of people think those are just myths, right? Like, and again, they are. And I think there's a lot of myth in it because you're having verbal documentation before it was written down 2,000 years ago, because not even 2,000, maybe 2,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago, when the scrolls, Dead Sea Scrolls, things that you have, a lot of it was verbal. You tell stories, and the way to remember stories is you create stories from it that have the connection to the meaning behind it. That's the whole point of mythology and all these things, but there's so many commonalities. And so to get to the long-winded way to answer, I think there's something more that was going on. I think that the history shows that there's more going on, and they're finding more and more human remains. Recently, they found Homo sapien, exactly like us, that is now back to 300,000 years ago. So humans been around 300,000 years from a standpoint of the way we looked, from if you believe in carbon dating, and some people say new Earth and whatnot. I'm not going to get into the science of it. I believe there's a longer history that we have because, again, biblically, is it Peter? I'm blanking on that. He says, a day to God is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like a day. Meaning that time is different to God, right? So if you talk about like the actual history, you can't go back and say the earth was created in one day, because what is a one day to God? That's an infinite creature, an infinite being. That doesn't really make sense. To me, there's a little bit more to the aspect of
maybe that. It doesn't mean a solid 24 hours.
What is a day? What is a day to an infinite being? Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I
don't know.
Okay, anyway. That's a whole other thing.
Are you going to ask me what
But you get into these three things. You have three.
Is it my turn?
If a human's around 3,000 years, we also know that a cataclysm or something really big happens, whether it's asteroids that hit the Earth, which we know happened.
Yeah.
Major volcanoes that explode, which we know happen. Floods, which we know happen. Yeah. So these things we do know happen, and the best estimate scientists say they happen once every 100,000 years.
Okay.
So if we've gone through three major, almost wipe out the earth kind of cataclysms that have changed the way we have.
Cataclysms.
And
write that down, folks.
And we think about what we've advanced even in the last 2,000 years. If you talk about, like, let's just use Christ, the birth of Christ as the beginning of it. Okay. From where that was to where we are now, how different is life?
Yeah.
That's only 2,000 years. What happens in 100,000 years?
No, I hear you.
Right?
2,000 to 100,000, that's a lot of years of doing the exact same thing.
And if it goes up and down, and yes, we've evolved, we've gotten smarter, but we've gotten smarter maybe in different ways. Point is this.
I love how you're talking about intelligence and you're wearing a hat that says bro.
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 Yeah, I gotta just realm. So.
Okay.
Just a couple more little things in there. They don't even know who built the pyramids. They really don't. I mean, they kind of know. They know Egyptians did, obviously, in Egypt.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people believe it's a lot older. That entire region of the Sahara back, I think it's like 3,000 years ago, maybe 4,000 years ago, was totally green. It was like plantation, beautiful.
How do you know? Were you there?
Yes.
That's like Berkeley.
I don't know.
That's like Berkeley the other day. Each of our kids, sorry to break it up, each of our kids have like one question where we're like, are you good? Like, we call them like no-brainer questions essentially, and they laugh at it too. But I was telling about a car accident I was in when I was 16, and Berkeley was like on edge of her seat listening to all the details, and then she looked at me and she goes, but did you die? And I looked at her and I said,
when you got in a car accident?
I looked at her and I said, yes. I did. And she just looked at me and started laughing. She instantly knew. What did Vaughn? Oh, what did I find? The rabbits. So then Vaughn had his a couple weeks ago. I found this nest of rabbit bunnies, or bunnies, baby rabbits, and I was like telling him about them being in the nest and covering it back up. And Vaughn was like, again, on the edge of the seat, like listening. He goes, "But what did they say?" And I said, "They said, put me back in the nest." And he instantly started laughing. He meant something else, but he was like, but what did they say?
No, he wanted to know if they made a noise.
He wanted to see what sound they made, but it came out, what did they say? And it was hilarious. Anyways,
so
we got to be done.
I'm gonna go back to this.
You can talk about this for 17
I know, because
days.
I want to close this up and say, regardless of what thing. So, like, I think a lot of what we don't believe. There is some truths in there, and there's a lot of historical things, and we don't know. And I think more knowledge is coming up just because the basis of information that comes off the internet. There's a lot of crap out there. I think a lot more. I think actually most of it's BS. I really do. But I do think there's something going on. There's something going on in the skies. Okay. I do think there's something going on with ancient history that we're going to prove that is different than what we did. I think some of those things are connected. Okay. And my thing is, regardless of what comes out, I still have my faith belief that we've been created in God's image, and He made us, and I don't. Whatever it doesn't change the standpoint that I believe that that I find salvation through Christ, and that's my standpoint. None of that changes. Yeah. But I don't. Big moon landings, chemtrails, airport. Flat Earth, I think flat Earth's complete garbage. Anyway, so there's things in there that it sounds wacko. I just think it's fun to talk about. And my thing is I actually just want to look at things that actually have scientific basis to it. I do, because I've had some weird stuff happen to me as a kid. I can tell. I didn't even get into that. It's things I like in my memory. I have these.
We're well over an hour. You got into a lot.
Okay, well I'm done. I'll pause it till later.
You got into a lot.
You asked me.
I did.
We talked 22 minutes about periods and beards and auditory processing issues. So this is probably marked this as the strangest podcast we've done to date.
It's the most random. It's definitely the most scattered for sure. But that's okay.
Hey, you're the one that started this off on period talk.
Yeah, this is kind of us. Welcome to our brains, and we're unmedicated, and we really like living that way. It's a very fun, sporadic life.
Which one's your one sentence. Which one's real?
Conspiracy? Mm-hmm. I feel like this is so controversial what I'm about to say, and some people are going to hate me. Please take this very lightly, because I'm very much I don't care about any conspiracy theory, and I'm living life, and I'm a 7. I'm an enthusiast. I'm an 8 Enneagram with a wing 7, where I'm I'm just here living in the moment. So I don't like to think that deep. But it doesn't take a lot to convince me when government covers stuff up.
Yeah, but why would they cover stuff up?
Because I think there's a control there, and I don't trust, even though I have things that I vote for, and I have values, of course, and opinions on things. It does not.
So yours would be
for me to be oh yeah, there's corrupt people for sure.
So yours would more be JFK and
thinking they did it.
Yeah, or involved.
Yeah,
the government.
You could totally sell me on
just
that.
Just modern day things. Yeah,
yep. But you could sell me on that.
So it's funny is of course, I agree with it as well, because I think, follow the money, you'll follow the decisions, and you follow control. I think money, all those things combined.
I think when you have that large of a sum of money, I think you are on target from Satan 24/7. There's a lot of power.
Or just super greedy, which in this own form of evil.
Some would argue Satan leads us to greed and evil, and I think you're just on display. Or if you're super... well-known, maybe not even well-known, but if your faith, I think a lot of pastors will get it.
How are children born?
No, we're not doing this.
Selfish. No, I'm gonna no, really. I
thought you meant the process.
No.
Yeah,
humans are born selfish, and humans that don't evolve past childhood and adolescence will never grow into an adulthood, and there are a lot of adolescent adults out there that the life and world revolves around them. They care about nothing else. What's in it for me and poor this, and there's a lot of bad things that happen to people, and for sure, there are people that, man, I pray for them, and we give a lot to charity. We do a lot of things. They can't get a break, essentially. And it's stuck, and there are people with health issues and things like that, and there are other people in there that just make the world about them and are living in eternal sadness because they can't get out of their own way.
Right.
And it's and the problem is they almost appropriate the real people that have real needs, in my opinion. So
and on that note, we need to end. What a great ending note.
Conspiracy talks are fun. I hope we can revisit this again soon. If you guys like this one, put some comments on it later. We'll do it again later. This is fun. We don't have to make this isn't a conspiracy podcast, but it
makes my brain hurt.
It's kind of fun to talk about.
I mean, it is, because you love it. I'm just here, and I can give opinions, but I don't know a lot about it.
All right.
Thank y'all so much for listening. Remember to follow us over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We would love and appreciate a rating. Oh my gosh, I popped on there today, and the ratings are 4.9 stars out of 5 with almost 6,000 reviews. That's insane. I had to look.
Do you know how many counts I had to make to get that up? I had it was 55.
Whatever. I just want to say thank y'all so much for giving us such high ratings, because while like it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day, it means a lot to us, just like as feedback for like, thank you. It motivates us to like not stop after season 2. Like, so thank you.
Right.
It's very, very nice to take time to do that.
In the DMs, if there's things that you want to hear us talk about, send it to Jen on that one. We have the email. Does anyone remember the email off the top of them?
You, me, and Mike podcast at gmail.com. And you can email things you want to say, questions or topics you want us to cover. I eventually, this season, will do another voicemail read.
Fun. I love that one last one. That was awesome. So
if you can upload voicemails and send it through that email, those all go to my producer, and we'll use all of those things as we're doing meetings for episodes and whatnot.
Right. Well, this one ran a little longer than normal. Thanks, guys, again, for listening along.
Yeah.
High five. That's awesome.
Boom. Y'all have a wonderful week. And again, thank you so much for listening. Until the next time.
We got to go get the kids.
Yes, we do. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.